I say this as a concerned citizen. I say this as a concerned citizen. Um, because often, it's kind of overlooked when you have a YouTube channel and you're voicing your wants and needs and opinions, or factual evidence to your city liaisons. You have to do more about getting young men and even older men, right? Middle-aged men in their 30s, even in their 40s. You have to do something about them always in the streets, walking around, not doing anything constructive. There's this thing in the community where, like, you can be walking or you can be driving, and like, if two men are in the car, maybe three men, especially three men, right? And these are men like who wear the North Face. These are men like who do the baggy cargo jeans with the raincoat, who have one of the Hirachis. They'll look at you twice, they'll look at you three times, size you up. And if you don't know about flight, if you don't know about fight, you can get yourself in a situation where, they'll attack you, so the cities have to do more about policing in the direction that it concerns. We shouldn't be like, just riding up on people, hopping out the black car, because that's how they do it in Southeast Michigan, right? The police, they'll drive up. They'll do it in the white cars too. Like, they'll drive up and they'll see you and you'll be by yourself. If no one is out recording, this is why I always have devices on me, because like, the community is so unsafe where, like, a police can just ride up on you, and if it doesn't get back to the precinct, it just wasn't supposed to get back to the precinct. This is why I say police, they're supposed to have cameras on them. They're supposed to have cameras on them at all times, and it's supposed to be working. I mean, look at this, right? If you have a payroll, of over 50 police to a precinct, right? And you have a resident who has a security system. Like, why can't you have a camera on your vest? So like, I'm always trying to, improve, communication relations with, the local districts. Because, like, they don't take, policing serious to the point where it doesn't need to be funded all the time. They don't take it seriously. Like, there's no way you should have a city budget for fire and police that outweighs scientific research and scientific application. It's no reason for that. Like, at this point, you're just living in communities where you kind of see a problem is going to jump off. Because if a particular budget isn't getting funding, and I can just bring up one, like public education, such as like libraries. If stuff is not getting funded, then it's going to be a reason for police to be around. Like, the kids should be at libraries, throughout hours of the day. You know what I mean? Like, the libraries, like how it was in Chicago, right? They're supposed to be taking the people on trips out of state, rent a bus, put the people on a bus and, drive a couple states over and visit some monuments and trademarks. This is how it used to be in Chicago at the libraries. But you can see, like, certain places where black people are, they aren't doing that. They're just doing the police thing. So, like, I often see, like, people just walking around, and they walk around in groups. They're not necessarily gangs or anything, but you can see, like, during the summer, you can see that element sort of take off, where it happens scatteredly. I don't like seeing, like, man walking around, kind of preying on people. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. This is why I stay reclusive. This is why I only shoot videos when I'm in areas that I know. You know what I mean? Like I don't walk around and get footage. I don't do that. You know, I used to do it, you know, before I had my other channel. I used to do it. I used to walk around on foot and show people abandoned homes, and I used to record them. But I stopped doing that, and I took all those videos down. I don't even have them no more. But like, you know, like these cities, like you take Detroit for instance, like they could really be doing a lot of things, man. And, you know, investment, that's not an excuse. You know what I mean? Like underfund the police, underfund the fire. You know, if someone doesn't know how to take care of a property, like the service engine should only be on the public roads, you know, once a month, like doing checkups. You know, if a house done burnt down, it's not their duty to put the fire out. Like I always hear fire engines. Like I hate that, because like if people are burning down houses, then like that's just a budget that's going to waste, because people are going to continue to do it. They just are. So, you know, underfund the fire, underfund the police, you know, put those budgets somewhere where people can think like, you know, I don't need to be in a house all the time cooking. You know, I can be at the library. Like when you change the budget, and when people are influencing the city council to change the budget to like reshape the revenue, then, you know, the people will be at the libraries. The people will be outside walking the streets, you know, where people can get familiar with one another. Cause like I don't really see the point in having police on patrol all the time. I don't really see having fire departments everywhere. I don't see it. You know, you're just creating a police state at this point. So, there's ways we can get this done. Instead of doing reparations task force, just change the budgets. Change the budgets. And that'll be a start. That'll be a start. Great peace, Yakoki.